In a fast-paced world of handheld gaming, everyone's been chasing the dream of a portable console that can rival the Switch. The Steam Deck has made a valiant attempt, but Lenovo's Legion Go is here to shake up the game. Think of it as a Steam Deck, but absolutely jacked. A powerhouse with a larger, superior screen and beefed-up internals, setting it apart from the crowd. Unlike its competitors, the Legion Go dares to make significant changes to its form factor, addressing a persistent challenge: Windows. In this video, we'll delve into all things Lenovo Legion Go, providing an honest assessment of this cutting-edge device. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Talking about Windows, Lenovo has hit a bit of a snag. Most handheld gaming devices run on Windows, but it's not the friendliest for controllers. Lenovo tried to tackle this better than Asus, especially with its Legion Go. The controllers have buttons as shortcuts to the Legion Space app, your gaming hub for launches and settings. But here's the weird part: Lenovo's implementation is a bit confusing. The right button alternates between launcher and settings overlays in a random left-right dance. Reopening settings becomes a 3-button puzzle, which is quite strange. Thankfully, the Legion Go has a cool feature: a trackpad on the right controller, like the Steam Deck. It lets you control a cursor, handy for navigating Windows. You'll use it a lot because Steam can sometimes go into desktop mode instead of the controller-friendly big picture mode, kicking you out of games. Adjusting settings is okay, but the Windows on the handheld struggle is real. It's like fitting a square peg into a round hole, dual, but with a bunch of quirks. Windows might be a headache, but Lenovo's Legion Go hardware is pretty cool. Unlike the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, these controllers are detachable and charge wirelessly while attached. The left one has a control stick, D-pad, menu buttons, top bumper, trigger, and 2 extra rear buttons. The right controller has even more stuff: 4 gameplay buttons, a control stick, a touchpad, typical bumper and trigger, and an extra bumper on the right side. 2 more buttons, labeled M3 and I3, are at the back near your pinky, which you can accidentally press a lot, by the way. There's also a scroll wheel under the right trigger. The button setup might seem confusing at first, but it starts making sense in FPS mode. These controllers are for bigger hands than the Switch's Joy-Cons, but they're still comfy when you're playing without attaching them. Despite the Windows hiccup, Lenovo nailed the hardware game. Now, moving on to the selling point: the screen. This console boasts a massive IPS display, a whopping 8.8 inches, with a sharp 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution and a super smooth refresh rate of up to 144 Hz. It might be overkill, but it sure feels like luxury. The rear comes with a sturdy kickstand, similar to the Switch OLED, offering a wide angle. You can prop up the screen, play with detached controllers comfortably, and still catch all the action without straining your eyes. What's more, there are 2 USB-C ports, one on top and one at the bottom. So whether you're in handheld mode or playing on a table, you can always plug in a charger. Take notes, Nintendo. One of the most peculiar features of the Legion Go is what Lenovo refers to as FPS mode. When activated, the left controller is held in the standard way, while the right controller is placed in a small plastic disc resembling an upright joystick. However, it functions like a mouse. Move it across the desk and your cursor or camera responds as it would with a regular mouse. In this mode, the seemingly confusing button placements I mentioned earlier suddenly become clear. The shoulder buttons are perfectly located for your trigger finger, and the M3 and MI3 buttons, which my pinky often accidentally tapped in handheld mode, are now under my thumb, making them much easier to press individually. It's a sort of best of both worlds option, with the control stick in my left hand instead of the more restrictive WASD keys and the precision of a mouse in my right. It's a somewhat ingenious approach. However, it does clash with decades of muscle memory. Spending more time with it and perhaps remapping some buttons might help me get accustomed to this mode. FPS mode doesn't magically solve the control and UI issues typical of this console type, but it does present a bold and possibly polarizing alternative approach to game control. Moving on to a downside, the battery life is a critical aspect, and unfortunately, Lenovo hasn't fully addressed this issue. Despite some tinkering, the Legion Go's battery performance falls short compared to its competitors. Sporting a 49.2 watt-hour battery, roughly 25% larger than the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, the Legion Go provides options in the settings overlay to optimize performance. These include a thermal power control, a toggle for the OS power mode, and adjustments for resolution, refresh rate, or full fan speed. While these tools offer ways to extend battery life, it's practically mandatory to utilize them. The real culprit here seems to be Windows, which behaves like a battery vampire on a gaming handheld. Leaving the Legion Go untouched for an evening resulted in a significant battery drain. The Windows alert system can be intrusive, popping up warnings about low battery levels and diverting attention away from the game. Despite Lenovo's efforts to make Windows less cumbersome and the commendable features like the trackpad, FPS mode, and detachable controllers, the Legion Go struggles in the battery department. If you're up for tweaking settings and handling UI quirks, the Legion Go stands out as a solid Windows option. However, for a hassle-free experience, opting for a Switch or Steam Deck might be a more reliable choice. And there you have it. That concludes our deep dive into the Lenovo Legion Go. Now we're itching to hear from you. Are you thinking about grabbing this device, or are you sticking with another option? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. We're genuinely curious. Stay tuned for our next video, and until then, take care and happy gaming.